Welcome back to the Pratt Pack Gym. Getting ready to lace up the leather and go to work. But before we do, I got the word late last night on my smartphone that George Martin had passed away. For those of you who are my age and even a little younger or older, you right away realize who he is. But for the younger audience, Sir George Martin was the man that signed the Beatles in 1962 after they gave him a brief audition at the Abbey Road Studios. He went on to produce many number one hits for them, 30 in the UK, 23 in the United States is what his resume says. But there's so much more to him that I'm going to get to in a moment. But his connection with the Beatles is what he will always be remembered by. He, of course, known as the fifth Beatle, was there with them through the greatest time in music history that maybe the world has ever seen, in a band that many people believe the greatest of all time, and that's kind of hard to argue. But what I really admired about him, the old saying is, it may be sometimes easier getting to the top than it is staying there. He kept their work consistent. And if you think of all of the music that they really put out, it's all classic. It's all good, one better than the next. And of course, having Lennon and McCartney doesn't hurt, and Ringo Starr and George Harrison, all legends in their own right. But I believe that Sir George Martin was the glue that kept them together. And he was the one that was just that little extra in that recipe of success. He will definitely be missed. There will never be anyone like him. And anytime I had a chance to see him interviewed, whether it was on BBC or some network television broadcast in this country, I was always fascinated by the business. He was a very smart man. And you think back very young at the age of 8 when his family got a piano, he encouraged his parents to give him lessons. And as they say, that's where the music began. And after he graduated from school, BBC Classic Music is where he went, and then of course EMI. And this is what I absolutely could not believe when I was doing a little homework on him today. I love British humor, comedy. I've been a fan of Peter Sellers for years and Dudley Moore, and great actors from that part of the world too. Well, I find out that Sir George Martin actually worked with Peter Sellers, Peter Ustinov, Dudley Moore, while he was a part of that great comedy team, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. So yes, we will always be remembering the great George Martin as the fifth Beatle, but believe me, his resume that lasted 6 decades in the entertainment world is much more than that. But truly a class act and a man that will never, ever be duplicated. But he will be remembered for generations to come. Thank you, George Martin. We are all grateful. Have a good day from the Pratt Pack Gym.